So we just filled in one record of information in datasheet view. So we're going to go to design view. So again, that's the graphing ruler with the pencil, or you can choose the down arrow and actually select that design view. And then you can see that you chose contact ID number and it's auto number. And then look down at the bottom and you'll see field properties, and we're looking at field size. And then I'm going to click contact first, the field size. Now the field size means that in that cell where you're filling in the information, you could fit up to 255 characters, but for a first name that's way too much. So what we can do is just click in there and change it to 20. So just 20 letters will fit in that cell. Then we'll right click on contacts and then go ahead and select yes. And then we'll go to contact last name and do the same thing. Change the field size to just 20. And again, right click, save, and yes. And then we'll close out of contacts. So right click and close. So now we're going to create a query. So you'll choose from your ribbon at the top, you'll choose Create tab, and then you'll choose Query Wizard. Query Wizard. And then we'll select a simple query wizard. So go ahead and click OK. So the first thing you want to do is in here where it says tables, queries, what tables are you going to use? And these are all the names of the tables that you're using. So you can, when you select the down arrow, it'll be all the names that are over here. So go ahead and select, and the table they want you to use first is companies, so select companies. Now all of the column headings for the table companies are listed here. And you pick the ones you want. So I want the state, so I'm going to click the arrow pointing to the right, so I'm selecting that one. And then I'm going to change to a different table. I'm going to go to jobs, and then these are the fields in the jobs table. And I want job title. So I can click this and then use my arrow, but if I double click on it, it moves it automatically. And then I'll also choose starting salary. So those are the only ones, and I picked and choose what fields I want from what tables. So then we'll click next at the bottom. And then this is the details, it'll show every entry, which is fine. So next. And then this is where you want to type the name of it. And we're creating a query, so it's going to go over here. And let's call this jobs by state. And then choose finish. So there's your states, there's the job titles, and there's starting salary. And it's under queries, jobs by state. So now we're going to select. So when you're selecting, use that arrow at the top where the column headings are, and we're going to select both state and job title. Just hold and drag across so that you're selecting both of them. And then click the Home tab, and we want them in alphabetic order, which would be ascending. So go ahead and click ascending, and your first one should be Alabama Data Analysis. We'll right click and close out of the query. It's asking you to save. Go ahead and say yes when prompted to. So you created your own. So we've created a table, we've created a query. Now we're going to create a form. So go ahead and choose the Create tab, and we're going to choose Form Wizard. And again, from the tables and queries, which table are we going to use? We want the contacts table. And then we actually want all of these, so you can click the double chevron, and that puts all of them over there. And then you'll click next, and it should be by column there, so that's fine. Next. And then we're going to change the name up here to contact entry. Contact entry for the name of this one. That's going to be under here under forms, and we're going to choose finish. So it's in a form rather than a data sheet. And then what we'll do is we're actually going to create a new one. So at the bottom you can choose Create New Blank Record. and then we're going to enter in the compressed tab, and the first name is Kristen, and the last name, and then the telephone number, and then the email. And then if you want, you can choose your previous record, which that's the one we did before, when we did it under the table. And then our next one that we just added. So there's only two. It's a very small database. When you're in the very first one, you're going to change, instead of the name Douglas, we are going to type Doug. So just double click and type Doug. Back, you'll see that it kept it. So again, we are going to right click and close. And the last one is to create a report. So we'll choose create, and this time we're going to use Report Wizard. And then again, we're going to go to our table. The table we're going to use is companies. And then we'll choose the state, so I'm going to double click. Then we're using all of them from here, but just in a different order. Industry, and then company name. So hopefully, if you've made a mistake, you can always put them all back and start over. So state, industry, company name. So you should have it in that order. And then you'll click one more, description field. Now do I have them all? State, industry, company, and description field. Then we'll click next. And we're going to advance to the report grouping, which is fine. So that's fine. We'll click next. And the order we want them to be sorted in, click the down arrow, and you're going to tell it to sort by state. And if there are two from the same state, then you want it to look at company name. And then we'll click next. And we'll accept that the layout is stepped and the orientation is portrait. Next. And then instead of companies, we want to call it industry list. And then click finish. And then it's in a report style. So you've completed a totally new table, a new query, a new form, and now a new report. So go ahead and right click and close. So you always make sure that you close, and then we're going to save this. Right now, if you were to look in the book, they have the next section. It was to save and share a database with OneDrive. You can go through that on your own, but it's not necessary in order to submit this as a completed project. So you can save from here, save as. It's going to be the same name, same location. I'm going to get rid of that one at the end and save. Replace, I'm replacing it, yes. And then go ahead and submit this in Cengage. Thank you.